My name is Brad Mercer, and the morning my marriage cracked open started with an email. At 6:30 a.m., sitting at our kitchen table with a bowl of cornflakes going soggy, I opened my laptop expecting something normal. Instead, I found a message from my wife, Olivia. Subject line: regarding the guest list. It was written in her polished corporate voice. After careful consideration. Refined guest list. Brand's evolving identity, strategically aligned partners. Translation: you're not invited to my company's annual gala. You're an embarrassment, Bradley. I'm a licensed architect. I design buildings people work in and live in. But according to that email, I wasn't the right accessory for a night of investors and board members. She even copied her parents, Richard and Patricia, so everyone knew I'd been benched. I called Olivia. The conversation was crisp and efficient, like a meeting that should have been an email. She said high-stakes people would be there, image mattered, and I was great one-on-one, but not a fit for this event. Then I checked our joint credit card and saw charges for the gala. Caterer, valet, wine, thousands. I was literally paying for the party I wasn't invited to. I called my in-laws, hoping for sanity. Patricia's tone was soft and precise. Richard talked like a board chair. They said I should support Olivia by not being a distraction. My jokes, my cargo shorts from a barbecue 3 years ago, my general casual energy, all brand risks, apparently. Something in me let go. Not rage, just a decision. If I was going to be unwanted, I'd be unwanted with a sea view. I booked a cottage in Cannon Beach for a week on the same card that was funding the gala, packed a bag, and drove west with the windows down. On arrival, I met Dennis, the host, sunburnt, kind, and blunt. "Lost a board or a wife?" he asked. "Both, kind of," I said. He nodded like that fit the tide chart. The cottage had floor-to-ceiling windows facing the Pacific. I sat, drank decent whiskey from a goofy mug, and did nothing. It was the best nothing I'd done in years. Day 3 was gala day. I bought hot dogs, beer, and a disposable grill and set up on the beach. Seagulls fought over a French fry like it was gold. Somewhere in Portland, Olivia would be in a designer dress convincing the money people that Luxora Cosmetics deserved more money. I had a burnt hot dog in the ocean. It felt like an upgrade. Then my phone exploded. Calls from Olivia, texts from her assistant, numbers I didn't recognize. I opened one from the assistant. Investors know everything. Then Olivia sent a screenshot. It was the internal budget for the gala. Line item 47 highlighted, reputation management. Spouse, Brad Mercer. $0. Excluded from guest list to maintain brand integrity and investor confidence. They'd literally turned me into a spreadsheet risk. The intern had emailed that internal sheet to the full investor list by mistake. Olivia finally reached me, voice shaking. Investors were walking out. One said, "I don't invest in companies that turn people into line items," and pulled $3 million on the spot. Others followed. The stock dipped hard. She begged me to help her fix it, issue a statement, do an interview, say it was a misunderstanding. She needed me to say I agreed to be excluded. I told her no. Not with anger, with quiet. I wasn't there to rescue her from the consequences of a choice she'd made before an intern ever hit send. She cried. Her parents called next, rotating between persuasion and pressure. "Marriage is sacrifice," Richard said. I agreed and told him I was done sacrificing my dignity. That evening, Dennis and I ate chowder at a small tavern while my phone buzzed itself to death. I turned it off and slept like a rock to the sound of waves. For the rest of the week, I built a routine. Coffee on the deck, long beach walks, photos of rocks and tide pools, simple meals, early nights. Dennis stopped by with fresh crab and stories about surfing and divorce. His dog, Captain, adopted me and demanded belly rubs. I stopped checking my phone. Silence turned from empty to full. After 7 days, I drove home. Portland was gray and damp. Our house was quiet. Olivia was on the couch in real sweatpants, not the expensive kind. Her eyes were puffy. The living room looked like a storm had passed through. Mugs, tissues, unopened mail. "You came back," she said. "I live here," I said, and sat in the chair, not on the couch. She told me what had happened. The board met. Investors fled. The stock never recovered. She resigned before they could fire her. The internet named her the spreadsheet villain. Her parents wanted to sue someone, anyone. She didn't have the energy to fight. Then she looked at me and apologized, plainly without a script. Not just for the email or the line item, but for letting image outrun integrity, for treating me like a prop to be managed instead of a partner to be loved. The words were simple. They landed. I don't know the long term, I said. But short term, we need boundaries, real ones. Your parents don't get a vote in my worth. No more brand talk at home. If we're married, we're teammates in public and private, or we're not married at all. She nodded. I want that. I don't know how to fix everything, but I want that. We didn't solve it that day. We ate, we slept, we talked like people instead of PR departments. I worked. She started therapy. The house got quieter. 6 months later, the pieces had found new shapes. I was running a small design firm out of a converted garage, invoicing cleanly, getting paid, remembering why I loved architecture, problem-solving that produced something you could touch. Olivia's company didn't survive. A competitor absorbed what was left and threw out the reputation management line. Olivia kept going to therapy. We met for coffee sometimes, like ordinary people who had once been married and still wished one another well. Are you happy? She asked one afternoon. I am, I said, and I meant it. Not perfect, not dramatic, just steady. Turns out being an embarrassment is pretty liberating. We didn't get back together. Maybe we never will. That's not the point. The point is, I stopped auditioning for her family. I stopped treating my own life like a seat-filler gig. I kept the ocean in my ears, even in the city. I made waffles on Sundays and walked to work in the rain. Dennis texted about the surf. Captain demanded updates. Marcus sent me memes about spreadsheets that I could finally laugh at. If you want a moral, here's mine. When someone writes you into their spreadsheet as a liability, read it once, twice, then pack a bag. Go where the air is bigger than your pride. Sit still long enough to hear the part of you that doesn't do press releases. Let people face the consequences of their choices. Keep your dignity. Keep your humor. Keep your name. My name is Brad Mercer. I design buildings. I lost a party and found my spine. The revenge I chose wasn't loud. It tasted like salt air, strong coffee, and Sunday waffles. And it lasted. Thanks for watching.